As you can see here, paint is the composite of the finely divided pigment which are being dispersed into the liquid, and they consist of pigment suspended in a liquid or the paste vehicle such as oil or the water. So this is the definition for the paint. Paint is but nothing but finely divided pigment inside the liquid or the oil that is being known as the vehicle. With a brush, a roller or a spray gun, paint can be applied on a thin coat or various surfaces such as wool, metal and the stones. Even we can apply this paint on the walls as well. Although it is preliminary purpose to protect our surface to which it is being applied, right? So the preliminary purpose of paint is to protect the surface of whatever substance we are applying this paint. And this paint can also be further provided for the decoration purposes. Right, for the decoration of different walls of the concrete, we are using paint for the decoration purpose. Then today, paints are used in the interior, exterior house painting, then boats, automobile, planes, appliances, furniture and many another places. This paint further find their large applications, right? So paint serve two purposes. It can be used for the protection of the surface and it can also be used for the decorative purposes. So now after discussing this paint, let's just quickly understand how we can produce paints. So these are the all raw materials that we are going to require. Paint are manufactured from three main constituents such as pigment, blenders and the solvents, right? In addition to give paint specific properties, specific purpose of the application, some additive can also be added. So let's just understand what do we mean by the pigments. The pigment is one of the main and important constituents of our paints. In general, pigment should be opaque and ensure good covering power and chemically inert to secure the stability and hence which ultimately increase the life of our pigments. Pigment should be non-toxic or at least very low toxic, right? So they should not be any kind of the toxic material to both the painters and the inhibitors. Now the function of the pigment and the fillers is to protect simply our colored surface. So the main function of the pigment is to protect our colored surface, right? Now after this pigment, next component is our vehicle or we can say blenders. The liquid portion of the paint is known as the vehicles. They are resins or different types of the oil. It is a main function of the blending pigment and different substance. Its function is to dissolve our blended, adjust the paint viscosity and give homogeneous regular uniform thickness of the coating surface. So this is its main function, to blend our blenders and to adjust the viscosity and give the regular thickness of our paint and different of our paints. Thinner and solvents such as petroleum ether, toluene, xylene are used for this purpose. Vehicles are composed of the non-volatile materials and the oil. So after understanding this, let's just focus on the flow sheet for the production of the paint. So as you can see here, all the reactant and all the raw material that are your fillers, then blenders, then color and pigment and different additives are being mixed in the feed hopper, right? And they are being collected in this feed hopper, then they are being sent to the one mixture where we are continuously mixing all the mixture so that we can have one uniform mixture of our solution. Then this solution is directly sent to the milling unit where we mill our paints, right? Then after this milled paint are being sent to the one thinner unit where we achieve desired consistency or we can say viscosity of our paint by means of agitated and continuous mixing. And after that they are being sent to the screen where we remove all the impurities in the form of sludge and they are being sent to the landfill. And after that this liquid slurry is being sent to the filling machine where we fill our paints inside the different cans and containers. And after that it is being sent to the labeling unit which operate on the belt conveyor. And after that it is being sent to the packing and the storage. So this was all about the flow sheet of the paint industry. Let's just quickly understand this process description so that we can develop better understanding of this paint industry. As you can see here in this process, resin, oil and pigment are taken into the feed tank and they are being taken in their desired proportion and thereafter they are being sent to the one mixing tank, right, with the help of the agitator. So vigorous mixing of all the constituents are being conducted in the mixing tank and the batch is pasted into the collected from the bottom of the mixing tank. And this batch is then undergone through the milling or the grinding process. For the proper grinding, ball and paddle mill are generally used. Even sometimes steel rolls mill, stand mill and high pressure agitator or the high speed stone mill can also be used in a recent developments. After mixing and grinding a batch mass is then transferred to the another tank. Here, the plasticizer, dryer and solvents are charged with the stirring of this tank. Thereafter, non-dispersed pigment as the sludge are being removed using screen and centrifuge unit, and they are being sent to the filler unit, right? And then this paint is poured into the cans and drum, which are then being labeled, packed, and they are being moved and they are being sent to the storage. So this was again about the flow sheet and the process description of the paint industry. I'm not describing all these things in very much detail as they are very much simple and they can be comparable with the previous processes as well, right? So after that, let's just move to the understanding of the varnish. As you can see here, varnishes is the transparent, hard, protective finish or the film that primarily used for the wood finishing, but also they can be used for the other materials. So they are generally transparent and hard material which are again be used for the protective purpose. Varnishes are traditionally a combination of drying oil, resins and the thinner or the solvents. So traditionally they are mixture of the drying oil, oils, resin and the thinner mixtures. Varnish finishes are usually glossy but may be designed to produce stain or semi-glossy sheets by addition of the flattening agents. Then the varnishes have very little or no color. So we can, as we have already seen, they are being transparent. So we can say that they have very little or permanently no color. It is transparent in nature and has no additive pigments. So it has no additive pigments, hence we can say that they are pure form of the paints. As they are being opposite to the paints that are being used for the wood which contain pigments generally in the range of the opaque to the translucent color. There are mainly three components of the varnishes such as dry oil. There are mainly different types of the dry oil including linseed oil, tung oil and walnut oil. These contain high level of the polyunsaturated fatty acids. Then the second type of the varnishes is the resin. Resins that are being used in the varnishes include amber, fluorine, gum, damper, copal and many other substances. Then the last one is the solvent. Traditionally, natural, that is your organic turpentine, was used as a thinner or we can say solvent. But it is being now replaced by the several mineral based on the turpentine substitutes, such as white spirit, that is also being known as the paint, also which is being known as the mineral spirit, right? So this was all about the varnishes. Now let's just understand what do we mean by the industrial coating. So as you can see here, an industrial coating is the paint or the coating defined by its protective rather than its aesthetic properties. So this industrial coating is mainly used for the protective purpose rather than they are being not used much for the decorative purpose, right? That is also being known as the aesthetic purpose. Although they can provide both, right? So they can although they can be used for the both purposes. So at the same time they can protect our substance and at the same time they can also be used for the decorative purposes. So the most common type of the industrial coating are from the corrosion control of the steel structures such as offshore platform, bridge and underground pipelines. So these are the different substances which are being used for the industrial coating purpose, right? This industrial coating can be classified in many ways. The first one is the alkali resins. They are used extensively in the industrial coating. They are widely compatible with oil and other resins. But their durability and resistance to water, sunlight and chemicals is inferior to the phenolics. Then later we will understand what do we mean by the phenolics, right? But they are very much inferior to the phenolics. So we can say that phenolics come on a one level upper side and then these alkali resins come under these phenolics. So let's just understand what do we mean by the phenolics. Phenolics are being used to resist alcohol and food acid, particularly in the cans and containers. So in order to paint our cans and containers, these phenolic resins are generally being used. Then acrylines, they are being available in the form of thermoplastic and thermosetting types of the polymers. They represent current optimum combination of the price durability, flexibility, and its appearance. Then we have epoxy paints. They are used in the plant where chemical resistance is very much essential. So the plants where sulfuric acid and HCl are being largely used, we have to paint different reactors with the help of epoxy paint. They require one curing agent and are expensive and used and they are being used in the industrial purpose only. Then we have fluoropolymer. It represents the current maximum in the weather resistance. The sleek surfaces and good wearing resistance cause them to be used as the largely coating unit for this shore of our aircraft. So the shore of aircraft are being generally colored with the fluoropolymers. Then lastly we have polyamide resins. They are being used to coat special pants that are used for the very high heating materials such as 275-degree temperature that need to be maintained. Hence, we have to use such type of the paints in order to paint different furnaces and different equipment that are being continuously exposed to the very high temperature of 275 degrees Celsius. Now, after discussing this classification, let's just continue to the last topic of this chapter, and that is applications. So, the spraying of different paint is increasingly coming under the fire because of its pollution and the air with the volatile solvents and finely divided solvents. So, spraying of paint causes different pollution problems since we are using different volatile substances which ultimately dissolve in the air. Then, coil coating of sheet by passing them through the bath, sometimes followed by leaving roller insufficient in the use of fluid, but edges are hard to coat properly. This electrobeam radiation is one more new technique for the curing has been tested by this method, and it shows that electrobeam radiation cure works very fastly and requires no heat. So this particular method can be used for the curing of our paints. Auto deposition is a new finishing technology which active chemically rather than electrically, right? So this particular method is very much new, which active chemically rather than the electric. It uses aqueous dispersion of polymer pigment and metal activators, and it operates at the room temperature. So this is one of the advantages that it operates at very much room temperature. And lastly, we have understood how we can manufacture paints. And lastly, we have understand what do we mean by the resins, and we have understand the pigments and varnishes as well. We will see you in the next video. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.